seems like Battlefield 6 is going to sell a lot of copies within the first week. There have been a lot of stats coming out lately showing off the pre-order numbers, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. Multiplayer First put out a great article showing the different analytical stats that these companies have been kind of doing for Battlefield 6 when it comes to pre-orders. They've been following the game since the beta, and they've released some of these stats finally. So this is via the Game Business. They estimate Battlefield 6 has 1.7 million pre-orders on Steam alone. And they said also note that a lot of gamers tried the Battlefield 6 beta on the EA launcher, and chances are they bought the game there too. And this does not even take into account for console numbers, which should at the very least match Steam's stats. They said in August they did a report that showed Battlefield 6 is trending as one of the most pre-ordered games on the PlayStation Store, and is even surpassing Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Now, I don't expect it to outsell Black Ops 7. I did talk about this about a month ago in my video, or maybe even a little bit longer, where I made a video talking about Battlefield 6 versus Black Ops 7. I said I've played both games since their very first title they ever made, and I don't really feel like one has to outsell the other. And Call of Duty has always outsold pretty much everything on the planet. We know that. Call of Duty always sells really well. But when it comes to both of them having a game coming out at the same time, I think it's good for competition to keep these developers kind of on their toes and trying to innovate and make a good game to kind of get your attention and make you want to play it, because that's what all video games do. All games are trying to, hype us up and make us excited and make us want to purchase their game. And it does not matter what game you play. It could be anything from Battlefield to Call of Duty to Assassin's Creed to Minecraft. It does not matter. Every game wants you to play their game and their game only. And so when Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7, when we found out that was going to happen pretty much within a month of each other, like I said, it's made a lot of hype for both games, a lot of hype kind of talking back and forth between the communities, which is just crazy to me. But I say play what you enjoy. If you enjoy Battlefield, play it. If you enjoy Black Ops, play it. But these numbers are really impressive to me, that Battlefield 6 is looking to have around 5 million sales within the first week is what they're anticipating, which that is kind of what they're expecting on all platforms. So PC and console both. But what's really interesting, and things they talked about even more here when it comes to Battlefield and Call of Duty, they said they looked at Call of Duty players who played the Battlefield 6 beta, and after the beta ended, they said 29% on Xbox did not return to Call of Duty, 24% on PlayStation didn't return to Call of Duty, and 48% on Steam didn't return to Call of Duty. Now, this is a bit skewed in my opinion, because Call of Duty's life cycle has definitely ended. We all know when Call of Duty comes out, the game is really, really popular for the first, 2 to 3 months, but within 6 months, the player drop-off is always pretty massive for every Call of Duty title. So after the Battlefield 6 beta ended, I didn't really expect a lot of people to go back and play Call of Duty. They may not have been playing as much Call of Duty then anyway, unless they were maybe Warzone players. But they're saying they think that the dip in Call of Duty players trying out Battlefield 6's beta may convince a lot of those Steam players to purchase Battlefield instead of Call of Duty, or purchase Battlefield and Call of Duty. And that is really what the developers for Battlefield want. Even if you're going to play other games, it's still great to have a lot of people purchase your game. If you're going to play Call of Duty, in November, you still have an opportunity to play Battlefield for a month before Call of Duty is released. And then after that, they know they may lose a bit of their player base going over to COD. But at the same time, if you put out good seasonal content, you're going to have that option to bring those players back sometime, towards the end of the year and on into next year in 2026. So the interesting thing that I thought was kind of at the end of this article, where they talked about the numbers just in general, they also said that Battlefield 2042, which kind of surprised me, sold around 4 million copies in its first week. And that's something that I did not really expect to see. That kind of tells me that their numbers could be a bit off. The game may sell more than 5 million copies in the first week, because we all know, even though Battlefield 2042 was not a lot of people's favorite game, at the same time, even when it was launched, it was still not a game that a lot of people were really excited about for Battlefield. It wasn't one of those Battlefield titles like we have with Battlefield 6 that everybody was really just hyped up about. So I'm going to be really interested to see when it comes to next week when Battlefield 6 launches, what it looks like kind of as a whole. How many people are playing, how many players are on, kind of what the sales are, within a couple weeks to a month when we get those numbers. Because I think Battlefield 6 is kind of in a position to do really, really well this year. Leave me a comment with your thoughts. Let me know what you think about all this. And of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.